Oh, that's better. Shalom to all my friends here at Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center and beyond, and anybody who has been connecting with our services online through StreamSpot, YouTube, Facebook, Zoom throughout these many months as we've been encouraging people to be safer at home during the novel coronavirus pandemic. The lay leaders of our wonderful safety and security task force have asked me to make a brief video for you to demonstrate something very important and something pretty exciting. Let's have our dessert first. Let's talk about the really exciting thing. Based on multiple conversations of that task force and conversations with members and conversations with staff and lay leaders and clergy, conversations with other synagogues and how they're handling things, we are now getting ready to open the sanctuary back up for services. Now, me personally, I am really excited and a little bit nervous about this. I'm mostly excited because I miss you all very much, and I can't wait for you to come here and celebrate Shabbat services with us, share some of those sprinkle cookies over Kiddush with us. I'm a little bit nervous because a year of only seeing some of you in masks, I've got a lot of names to relearn, so please forgive me if that takes some time. But enough about me. You're probably asking, when's this going to happen? A fair question, and you will be getting an answer from PJTC officially through email and other kinds of announcements very, very soon. And when you find out, I can already anticipate the question, why is it going to take so long? That's why the members of the task force wanted me to put together this video. The fact is, we've got some significant changes to make to our physical landscape here to make that happen and comfortable and safe for everybody. First, let me express my gratitude to all of you who have stuck with us and kept coming to services, and some new people who started coming to services throughout this strange time and have endured all of the experiments that we've made with new technology and some mistakes here and there, have been very patient with us working out all the bugs in Zoom and StreamSpot and things like that, and bugs in our own setup that's nobody else's fault but ours. We have learned a lot together about how to create holy space in an unusual time. But that's also meant laying a lot of wires down and putting up lights in places and putting up a curtain in a place where you might not even know where I'm standing right now. And I should have done this a long time ago, but finally, just as we're getting ready to tear it all down, I'm going to take you behind the scenes at what it has taken to put together a Shabbat service, a B'nai Mitzvah celebration, all sorts of occasions here at PJTC that we are going to have to now unwind and rewire before we can open up again, just so you get a sense of exactly why it's going to take as long as it's going to take. Are you ready to check out the synagogue behind that curtain? Come with me. All right, putting it on selfie mode here for the behind the scenes tour. I can see that my iPhone camera is way less forgiving than my Zoom camera. I need to shave. But here's approximately how you were looking at me before. And what you should know, first of all, is that I am on the stage at the back of the social hall. Some people didn't know that. I'm going to take you step by step through my setup. When I get here in the morning, the first thing I do is turn on these two lights. I got some white light. I got some natural light hitting me from all angles. I got a laptop set up here with my own personal webcam attached to it. This is a table where I keep all sorts of stuff. And this has been my view since, let's say, last high holidays. Of course, the look wouldn't be complete without this really great curtain that was sourced and, I believe, sewn and totally prepared by our chaplain, Claire Gorfinkel. I know her chaplaincy portfolio doesn't specify making me look good, but she does in so many ways. And this is attached to this kind of latticey stuff that might have been the setting for, I don't know, plays and Purim spiels here at PJTC. Off to the side here, we have a really nice table where Alex and RJ put up the Kiddush cups and the wash stands and things like that for when we make Kiddush. There's a little chair where I sit down sometimes when I'm not on camera. The most important thing for you to understand in this video is all the wires. One thing that we wanted to make sure of when we started this was that we could still sing together, me and Cantor Ruth and the davening team. Even though we went to Zoom, Zoom makes it really hard for people to sing together at the same time and hear each other synchronously because of the network lag. So we figured out how to wire my sound up to the sound of Cantor Ruth on the Bima and the davening team who sit right there at the 50-yard line. A little monitor so I could hear everybody. Some internet cabling going on, so we have a live Ethernet connection and we're not affected by Wi-Fi. Little fan for my own personal comfort so that we don't have to double air condition this whole place every time. Here's a view of my place from the social hall, and you can see that from my station, there's this little line running. That's not the basketball court line. That is an XLR audio cable that runs from my station all the way down the length of the social hall to where the davening team is and beyond. Here I am in the liminal space between the social hall and the sanctuary. You recognize this curtain wall thingy that we open up for Kiddush. This is where the davening team has been sitting. They are spaced out from me. They are spaced out from the cantor. And they used to be a little bit farther from each other, but they've been fully vaccinated for several weeks now. And there's more cable running from there to this little intersection point where it picks up my cable and goes all the way down the aisle. Into this great big electronical looking thing here that gathers all the cables. Looks like somebody's been working on it with the socket set there. Some monitor speakers so that Cantor Ruth can hear them and hear me. More cables and cables and cables until we get to where Cantor Ruth works from. And whereas every week when you tune in, you can see Cantor Ruth up there singing in front of our beautiful Aron Kodesh, this is what her bima looks like. You can see she's got two lights that are neater and smaller and probably newer than my lights, plus her laptop set up so that she can zoom in with her camera. I know professional YouTubers who don't have this good a setup. And of course, she's got a little table for Kiddush stuff as well. And I have to give Cantor Ruth credit. She has not just been the driving force of all this technology for its own sake. It's because of her unwavering dedication to the quality of service that we put on to say, if we're going to go to Zoom, we're going to have the best Zoom service out there. And I think we do. Now, in addition to our instrumental musicians, we also have Betsy, who's been accompanying us with her voice in a different location, and that's been here in the PJTC lounge. And we've taken down some of the mic equipment because we had a meeting in here today with people with masks on. But you can see this beautiful backdrop that Betsy's been using and some microphone equipment that we have there. Everything's wired, y'all. Now, in addition to all we've done to the sanctuary and the social hall space to wire it for light, sound, and spirituality, we've also had to do quite a bit of work on Nell Chapel. Here I am inside our beautiful Nell Chapel, and I'll tell you in just a second what we did to upgrade this place. But first, I'm going to tell you why. In the beginning of the pandemic, due to the lockdown, of course, we had to reschedule a whole slate of B'nai Mitzvah celebrations, pushing them off past August of 2020 because we thought for sure everything would be done by then. Ha 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 ha. Mensch tragt und Gott lacht, as they say. People plan. God thinks that's hilarious. So along about July or so, we thought this August thing is not going to happen. So we're going to have to do some Zoom B'nai Mitzvah, or else we're going to have to move everybody again. We're going to have 3 classes kind of smushed together. Students will be driving to their bat mitzvahs. As you know, our parking lot's pretty crowded as it is. So we thought, if we're going to have Zoom B'nai Mitzvah, we are going to have the best Zoom B'nai Mitzvah anybody's ever seen. And much like we did with the sanctuary and the social hall space, we wired this place up for light and sound. And I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. This is what our Nell Chapel space looks like today. As you can see, we've still got an ark. We've still got an Air Tamid. We've still got these beautiful curtains in this great space. I actually really love this space. It feels like praying in a medieval castle. In addition to all the normal, beautiful stuff we have in here, we've got a few electronic devices, as you can see. There's a microphone on the table reading stand so that people can hear the bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah. There's an additional microphone on the Torah holder so that when they turn and face the ark, people can hear them say the Baruch Hu and other prayers like that. You got a monitor up here so that the B'nai Mitzvah or their parents or whoever's up there can see everybody who's in the Zoom connection. Plus a monitor down here, so if there's more family members sitting here, they can see what's going on the Zoom screen. They can see me, they can see Cantor Ruth, and anybody else in the Zoom call as well. So that comes with the requisite number of mice or mices. I love these mices to pieces. Got an additional mixer to make the sound work just right with the 2 microphones going into Zoom. Of course, a CPU for the computer connection, this additional monitor right here. Got another speaker over there that we didn't have before. So of course, these days, if you are a bat mitzvah or a bar mitzvah at PJTC, this is the crowd that you've been preparing for, a mostly empty room, plus whatever family members are in attendance and anybody who's on the screen. Naturally, one of the biggest challenges of all this is if you're a bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah, Sometimes it's helpful to have the cantor or even the rabbi there at your shoulder saying, use this different tune for the Hatzi Kaddish, or now it's time to bow. And we haven't been able to do that. I think that's been frustrating for our students as it has been for us. So some of that holy choreography can be done when the rabbi says things like, please rise and face the ark. That's your cue. But also a tremendous help to the families and to the clergy has been Melissa. Melissa's been sitting right here. For every bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah we've done since August, we've had Melissa here. You got a laptop on there. You got a microphone that she can sing into. Little heater there for her tootsies. Of course, she's been back here all masked up. And not only does she help the B'nai Mitzvah, but she's helping their families, who it turns out have all sorts of questions during the service. And she's been answering them ably and keeping these families feeling safe and sound, even though Cantor Ruth and I are all the way across the parking lot in 2 other rooms. So the question is, how does Melissa sitting over there talk to the B'nai Mitzvah that's way up there? Easy, big signs. So she's got a whole bunch of signs back here with sort of standard messages to help the kids along, like rise, put the Torah in the ark. That one's helpful. The most frequent tip that any B'nai Mitzvah needs to be given, but of course my personal favorites, and these are so Melissa. Like I said, this is so Melissa. And my goodness, I haven't counted, but we probably had well over a dozen B'nai Mitzvahs celebrate this important milestone in their life like this. We couldn't have done it without Melissa. We couldn't have done it without all of this investment in both dollar bills and technology, elbow grease, commitment to excellence that Ruth has, and I help with the streaming video networking software a little bit. So that's our behind the scenes of Studio 3, or as I like to call it, Nell Chapel. So I hope you could see based on this tour that there's a lot of wires that we're going to have to pull up and rearrange. And the idea is that when we're all back together again, Cantor Ruth and I, who've been vaccinated for, a couple months now at this point, are going to be back together on the Bima. The davening team is going to be with us on the Bima. And there's going to be plenty of room for all of y'all in all this space. With all the cables, we've got some tripping hazards to address, certainly. And to be sure, because we want to continue offering a kind of a hybrid experience, or a room for people to be here in person, but also room for people to join us online without any diminishment of their experience, it's going to take time to sort all this stuff out and do it right. But guess what? You're worth it. Your having a good experience was worth doing all this stuff, and your having a good experience is going to be worth taking it all down or rearranging it so that everybody can join us however they feel safe joining us. We're excited to see you, and we're going to take whatever time we need to do it right, do it once, and welcome everybody back safely. Thank you so much for watching this video and going behind the scenes with me on how we have been able to create holy space for our friends here at PJTC and literally all over the world for the last several months. I hope you can see not only what a big job it's going to be to undo all of this, but what a big job it was to do it in the first place. I like to say that many hands make light work. It wasn't that light, but there have been many hands. Cantor Ruth has done not only a phenomenal job of sourcing all the wires and speakers and all the brain work it took to lay all this stuff out to make it happen. I helped out with the technology and live streaming piece because that's what I was doing before I got here. But it also took a lot of hard work by our friends Alex and RJ on the facility side. Burl, our executive director, helping coordinate all of this stuff and helping to find and train and put in place our Zoom coordinators that help us flip back cameras whenever we need to. That doesn't happen automatically. That's a person or sometimes several people. And beyond staff, the lay leaders who had the vision to make this happen, to do the right thing for you so that you could continue to have a spiritual home here at PJTC. Not to mention the many volunteer benefactors who donated their time and energy and thought power and equipment and a couple of shekels too to make all of this happen for you. In the coming few weeks, that's going to be over before you know it. We're going to take this stuff down. We're going to rewire. We're going to have a whole new way of getting together in person in 3 dimensions soon, while still having the ability for people to access this from their homes or from wherever they are in the world. I know I'm excited to be a part of the next phase of how we gather. It's going to be great seeing your faces again. It's going to be great to continue to be accessible for more people than we've ever been accessible for. And I wanted to take you behind the scenes while we still had, scenes. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for being a part of this bold experiment in connecting people with Judaism, connecting people with Torah, connecting people with each other. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being a part of our community.